Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to a review that I normally don't do and actually is up to date. This isn't several days ago. This isn't something that happened over a course of 48 hours. This actually happened today on May 3rd, 2018. New Japan Wrestling. I'm going to start keeping you guys up to date on everything as much as I possibly can on all events that come up from here on out. Because I'm sick and tired of doing rants on WWE. I'm tired of watching boring WWE television programming. The only thing I'm going to be doing from now on with WWE related events is just the pay-per-views themselves or the 3+ hour pay-per-view quality events like the one we watched this past Friday last week. So that's the only thing I'm going to be doing from here on out unless Raw and SmackDown start to improve. Now, granted, I may not be watching the shows live anymore. I will try to keep up to date with everything just so that I can get some general idea what's going on leading up to the pay-per-views going in so that I can give you guys preview and prediction videos of what I think is going to happen and get a general idea of why they're putting all this together. Whether it's retarded or not, it's still a good thing for me to understand for what the matches came about and why they happened. So I'll try to keep up to track with that as much as I possibly can. But for tonight, I'm doing a review on New Japan Wrestling for wrestling in Dontaku. It's spelled Dontaku. This is night one. It was headlined by two main event matches with Cody Rhodes versus Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page or Adam Page. Those are the two major matches, and then on May 4th, which is tomorrow, we will get to see the IWGP Heavyweight Championship belt defended, with Okada defending in his 12th title defense with the possibility of breaking a record in New Japan Wrestling for the most title defenses in wrestling history in New Japan against Tanahashi, who is actually a really great Japanese performer in their company, has been there for a very long time, has won 7 world championships, won the title 7 times, and could be getting a record 8, increasing his record as the most title wins ever in for the IWGP Heavyweight title. But I'll go in more history on that once we get to their match, because they actually did have a tag team match later on tonight near the two main event matches that happened. So, first match that I actually watched, because I did skip some of the matches I wasn't interested in. This pay-per-view actually happened on Eastern Standard Time. The pay-per-view started at 4 o'clock in the morning. There was no fucking way I was watching that. So I have to watch these in replay on demand. None of these will ever be live, so I will be skipping some of the matches I'm not too interested in, so I can save myself time and not burn myself out from watching so much wrestling content. So I just want to watch and observe some of the matches I'm truly interested in watching, not forcing myself to watch an entire event all at once. But the first match that I did watch, and I actually only skipped 2 matches in the very beginning. The rest of it, I actually watched the entire show. I saw Rocky Romero and Sho and Yo defeating Davey Boy Smith, Lance Archer, and Takasha Lazuka. They actually won this match by pinfall with a very quick schoolboy pinfall. There wasn't even much of a match. It didn't even last but maybe 3 minutes. That was about it. Chaos broke out, and they were all over the place around the arena, and then finally one of the competitors on the Rocky Romero's team got a pinfall over Davey Boy Smith and Lance Archer's tag team. The next match after that, so the match really wasn't all that big of a deal. I say it was a 2 out of 5 stars. It was kind of a little bit of a disappointment. I was a little shocked by the ending. Not that it was even much of a match. We had Chaos with Hiroko Goto, Switchblade Jay White, who was actually the guy who picked up the victory for his tag team, with Tomohiro Ashii and Torio Yano and Yoshihashi over David Finlay, Juice Robinson, Michael England, Toy Henry, and Toiga Maccabee. And it was pinfall by Blade Runner from Jay White on Hooray. Very decent matchup. Jay White is picking up victory after victory since winning the United States Championship from Kenny Omega back in January. He's been on a fucking roll, and he's actually, I did hear and was mentioned by Kevin Kelly and Don that there's a possibility that Jay White may challenge Okada or Tanahashi tomorrow for the IWGP Championship at the next at a big main event show that he will challenge for the heavyweight title. Now, do I believe that that is something that New Japan should do? I don't think so. I think that Jay White needs to focus on being a fighting champion, defend the United States title, make that title something worth a main event quality matchup, as good as any heavyweight title can be. And I think that that would be something really good in New Japan. I mean, if you look back on ECW's World Television title, Rob Van Dam made the fucking World Television title seem as important as the heavyweight title in ECW. There is no different in any other wrestling organization. They can't do that here. I mean, WWE is another prime example. They got the Intercontinental. They have the United States title. They could always put those titles in main event quality pay-per-view events. I mean, this coming pay-per-view at Backlash, we're going to see Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy for the United States title, with Jeff Hardy being the U.S. champion, which I'll do a preview and prediction video tomorrow on that. I'm really tired out, so I'm just doing this video, and I'm going to hit the hay and go to work tomorrow. But all honesty, they're really, I mean, like Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, they were main eventing the the Royal Rumble. Except for the Royal Rumble match itself, they were the last match on the show. They actually, it was over the WWE Championship back in 2008, 10 years ago, and now 10 years later, they're competing again. I don't see why that title wouldn't be something worthy, based on the name quality of both of them being in the main event and not even having a WWE or Universal Championship match for the Backlash pay-per-view. But they're having that anyway, which is point of having it anyway, because between Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. So it's worth them putting that match together. But just point being is, like, the United States Intercontinental title, the U.S. title on New Japan Wrestling, the IWGP Intercontinental title. That title actually was posted as a main event match between Suzuki and Tato. They competed over that belt, and I actually did watch that match as well. David Finlay, he competed over the United States title. That was the main event of the show for April 24th's event. Jay White walked away victorious, retaining his title, and he competed against him 11 times and beat him 10 out of 11 times. Jay White is on a roll. He is definitely worthy of challenging for the IWGP Heavyweight title. Do I see him as a guy that should win it? Absolutely not. But I don't see the point of giving him a title shot except for, I don't see him as being the guy that should get the title shot. Because, let's be honest with ourselves, Jay White didn't start becoming popular until he beat Kenny Omega for the IWGP US Heavyweight title. Cody Rhodes, on the other hand, has been winning but only lost 2 matches since last year. He lost for New Japan Wrestling matches alone, not ROH matches. But in New Japan Wrestling, he has only lost to Kota Ibushi at Wrestling Kingdom, and he lost to Okada. And that was for the IWGP Heavyweight title in the summer of 2017. This guy has not done nothing but win non-stop. So, in my personal opinion, as I mentioned in another video I did that was dealing with New Japan Wrestling, I mentioned that Cody Rhodes should be the guy that takes the belt off of Okada and should do that in the summer of this year during the G1 Climax event that happens in California. That's what should happen. That, I believe, is who should beat Okada for the title. I think his last title defense should be after this event that he has with Tanahashi, and he should walk away retaining the belt against Tanahashi because Tanahashi is actually worn out. He is being played out as a beaten down competitor, still quality wrestler, but at the end of the day, he's sustained so many injuries. He is really not in any condition to be a top-notch guy anymore in New Japan Wrestling. So that's really where all that stands. In my personal opinion, Okada needs to retain the title, establish his dominance as the head guy in New Japan Wrestling for the time being, break the record of the most title defenses, and then in his 13th title defense, lose the title to Cody Rhodes, leading to Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega in one more contest for the IWGP Heavyweight title this time in Wrestling Kingdom. That would be the best thing for them to do. I think that would be great for Cody Rhodes. It would also then lead to Kenny Omega winning his very first IWGP Heavyweight title and giving him the fucking the measuring stick and basically saying, you are the guy, you are the face of New Japan Wrestling. He is already the face of New Japan Wrestling. They just need to give it to him in the right manner. The right manner based on storyline quality and build-up. Giving the belt to Cody Rhodes, his title defense, his title reign wouldn't mean all that much in the sense because it would be meant to have him hold it on for a certain period of time to pass it on to the real face of New Japan Wrestling, and that's Kenny Omega. But Cody Rhodes is a quality player in New Japan Wrestling. He's their head villain, while Kenny Omega is their head face guy. And I think that is fantastic for both men. I think it would give them both an opportunity, both being American wrestlers competing in a Japanese organization headlining the fucking pay-per-view at their version of WrestleMania, Wrestling Kingdom, in January 4th of 2018. I think that would be the best thing for both of them, and I think that would be the best way to close out the 2018 to 2019 year for their storyline. And I think that would be the best thing for them to do. But getting off of that, we're on to something else. Bullet Club with Marty Scurll, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson competing against their Bullet Club pals, Bad Luck Foul, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loya were defending their 6-man never open tag team titles, and they lost to the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll. Marty Scurll, I have to say, is an awesome character in New Japan Wrestling as well as ROH because he works for both. He performs in both companies. and he's an outstanding performer. I am very satisfied with his in-ring work. He's very funny and comedic in the ring, too, based on his body language. And some of the things you can hear him say in the ring when he competes up against a guy that's much taller and has a more advantage against him, he can actually be comedic in the sense of a villain saying, oh shit, oh fuck, what am I doing? And act like he doesn't, he acts like he's got these big cojones and then realize how much of a schmuck he is for trying to go up against a guy that is so much bigger than him or so much better than him that he ends up getting his fucking ass kicked. So, I mean, a couple of times he tried to go up against the underboss who goes by the name of Bad Luck Fail. And, I mean, he absolutely was hilarious. He tried to attack him from behind after they shook hands and were showing sportsmanship between the two. This match was very decent. I actually really enjoyed watching this. Very good action overall. I mean, again, anything that involves the Young Bucks, you're going to get a 5-star quality matchup. Now, I mean, granted, this wasn't 5-star all the way, but it was pretty damn close. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The match with Jay White in it was a 3 out of 5. That was pretty average. So, moving on to other things, we had Bushi, Evil, Herrero, Takahashi, Sonata, and Tetsuya Nato, who's the current IWGP champion. By the way, just a side note about Nato. He absolutely hates the Intercontinental Championship. His reasoning behind the reason why he don't like the Intercontinental title is because it's a second-rate belt to him. To him, he thinks that there's too many titles which devalues a lot of the other important championship belts that are within the company. That was a very funny thing that's mentioned in this whole commentary between Kevin Kelly and his side commentator Don. I forgot his last name. He went by Cyrus in ECW when he was a color commentator with Joey Styles, and he actually, both of them were talking about how Nato actually dislikes the fact that the Intercontinental title and so many other belts are used within the company, devaluing the company's title prestige in some senses. Like, he doesn't think probably, like, he thinks he's basically, Kevin Kelly said there's way too, he stated that, Nato stated that there's way too many titles in the New Japan Wrestling Organization. He thinks that they should cut down on some of those titles and give the important titles more meaning. And in my personal opinion, I agree with that. Whether this is storyline or this is actually him just speaking his actual mind towards the company itself politically, I think that was a very intelligent comment that came out of his mouth. Simple fact of it is the fact that there's the IWGP Heavyweight, US, Intercontinental, the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles, the Heavyweight Tag Team titles, the Never Open 6-man Tag Team titles, the Never Open Championship belt, the Never Open Junior Heavyweight 6-man Tag Team titles. There's over 8 championship belts within this company. Now, I can understand if they were promoting other companies' matches within their own events and having title matches there, but the thing is, they don't. It's within their own company. They have 8 championship belts, and it's all for specific weight classes and so on. I honestly think it's okay with the junior heavyweight title. Oh yeah, I forgot about the junior heavyweight title. I think the junior heavyweight title, the junior tag team titles, the heavyweight tag team titles, the heavyweight championship itself, the U.S. and the Intercontinental title are more than enough championship belts that they should have. I think six-man tag team titles should be gone from New Japan Wrestling. I don't even think it's necessary. They have way too many tag team matches. That's another thing. They throw all their guys, as many guys on their roster at one time at this event, which I didn't quite agree with in this one. Simply because of the fact, like, for example, by the way, Nato's tag team defeated El Desperado, Manru Sasaki, who's the guy who who Nato defeated for the Intercontinental Championship. Yoshinobu Kanmuro and Zack Sabre Jr. They defeated them, and Evil was the one who picked up the victory over Kanyamura. Basically, this was really a really good match. I actually enjoyed this tag team match a lot better than some of the matches I saw on this event. So I was pretty satisfied overall with this match specifically. There was a lot more reason for them to be competing. They also had the opportunity to take time away from the match and had time to relax during the match while the action in the ring happened. Zack Sabre, he was unbelievable with Suzuki. They both took turns, or actually simultaneously put submission holds on Nato. And I thought that was fucking great and entertaining to see them both working together as like a Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit tag team, which I've seen before done by those two together, which was really cool back in the day. But after the match was over, the Young Bucks finally came down to the ring and challenged Evil and Sonata. They went ahead and challenged them for the heavyweight tag team titles for the very first time. This is their very first ever heavyweight tag team title match that they're ever competing for against Evil and Sonata. I gotta say one thing, out of the talent that was in this ring tonight, or earlier today, based on the fact that it was 4 o'clock in the morning today, our time and the Eastern Standard Time, I have to say straight up with you guys, I think that this guy Sonata, who's tag team with Evil, is going to be a star. And I actually saw him compete for the IWGP Heavyweight title against Okada earlier this year. He performed extremely well, and I see him as a guy that's going to become a heavyweight champion very soon at some point. So definitely watch out for him. If you're at all a New Japan Wrestling fan, and if you're not, if you haven't watched any New Japan Wrestling, I recommend getting NewJapanWorld.com subscription. It's only $9.99, just like WWE, and you're getting a ton of fucking shit out of it. You're getting tons of years of events that happen. You're getting a lot of entertainment during now. While New Japan is red hot right now, in my personal opinion, I think that it's probably one of the best wrestling promotions in the fucking world. I think better than WWE shit. Overall, WWE is just absolute garbage. That's why I'm giving you guys this review tonight. But yeah, very impressive matchup by these guys overall. Young Bucks are getting to challenge the Evil and Sonata for the tag team titles, for the heavyweight tag team titles. So that's basically it, and they accepted the challenge after they got super kicked in the face by the Young Bucks. Alright, so here we go. The next match was Okada and Will Ospreay against Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kushida. Kushida is going to be challenging for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title tomorrow, and the Tanahashi, as I mentioned, is challenging for the IWGP Heavyweight title against Okada tomorrow. Now, my personal opinion, I don't understand why the fuck this match was even happening. There is no reason, and I mean no reason whatsoever, why this match should even happen tonight. This match should have never happened. There was no need for a tag team match when the next night they're going to competing. And not to mention, they actually competed 20 plus minutes. Guaranteed. I don't know how many minutes it was, but they competed at least 20 plus minutes. I'm pretty certain of it, just based on how long it felt for this match to end. I did not agree with the idea of them doing that. Ospreay looks banged up to shit. Kushida is pretty banged up his own self. Okada, he was kind of limping out of the arena after the match was over. So I didn't like the way that looked. I mean, he looked more banged up and out of place than fucking Tanahashi is, and he's being considered the underdog in this match, since of age difference and also the fact that he's dealt with injuries for the last couple of years. So, I mean, in my personal opinion, I don't particularly agree with the decision they made to make this match happen tonight, on night one, when they're going to be the two main events on the next show tomorrow. I don't get that. Now, if these two matches were happening next week, and they weren't competing tomorrow, I could understand them having this match. But this isn't next week. This is tomorrow, 24 hours from today. So for them to have this matchup was very stupid in my personal opinion. It was a good match nonetheless. I did enjoy it. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. But I'm worried that these two matches are going to be absolute shit now, because they're both banged up to hell. Especially Ospreay, he looked extremely banged up. He was in severe pain most of the match. He was screaming. I don't know if he was selling his worked out injuries. Maybe he was selling an injuries that he was supposed to be sustaining in the match, just to make it look more interesting and amazing how he's going to look during tomorrow's event. I'm not sure, but my personal opinion, I did not agree with what they were doing and having this match happen. I think it was very stupid on their part, but good match overall. I'm not going to complain about that, but the sense of having it there was no point in it. It was kind of a WWE logic gap, in my personal opinion. If you're going to have a major match, these two guys are guaranteed. I'm pretty certain both of these matches are going to go at least 30 minutes. Pretty sure. I mean, that's most of the time that's what they do with these New Japan Wrestling matches when they're the top main event build matches on the show. So, I don't see that that's going to change much. Cody Rhodes versus Kota Ibushi. This was a very, very slow match at first. I really was not happy with the beginning part of this match. By mid part of it, near to the end, I started to enjoy it. But majority, I'd say about 60% of the match was very slow, dull. It didn't have the same kind of excitement that it had during their Wrestling Kingdom match. But once things got better and it became more enjoyable, the 40%, it was very good. With that being said, I can only state that this was a 3 out of 5 star match. If the match was consistent throughout for 100% from beginning to end, I would definitely give this match a 4 out of 5 stars. But because of the fact that it was just so bland, and it felt more like I was watching fucking WWE all over again, and my reason for watching New Japan Wrestling, or any promotion for that matter, is to get the hell away from WWE's programming for the time being until they get better. I mean, granted, no matter what, I'm still going to watch these promotions because they're really enjoyable to watch. I like the talent that they have. They're different names. They're people that you're not familiar with. It's fresh, it's new, it's different. It's like watching NXT, only you're watching it as the major leagues instead of the fucking gosh darn minor leagues like WWE presents themselves, when the minor leagues are better than the major leagues, which makes no fucking sense in my opinion. But this match was in the beginning, in the middle, but 40% of it was like, wow, this is exciting now. I'm really enjoying myself watching this event for this match. Thank God it wasn't the main event, or I would have been extremely pissed. This was not main event worthy. Their match at fucking Wrestling Kingdom was a lot better than this. So, yeah, I wouldn't even count this as main event last match quality. So yeah, I mean, Cody Rhodes tried to hit the Crossroads, didn't get the win there, but he ended up hitting the Den's Fire, it's a Kondo driver, or Kudo driver. Basically, he goes ahead, he puts him in a form of a power bomb, but he wraps his arm. He basically has the guy positioned, like, lined up on his back, only the guy's head is facing the opposite way, landing right down onto the mat, and basically if he lands the wrong way, it could break his vertebrae or what have you. And that's how the match ended. Then we had Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page or Adam Page, whichever way you want to call it. During the entrance for Kenny Omega in the middle of the ring, Cody Rhodes interfered, once again building more frustration and more heat between Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega, which is leading to my idea that it's going to happen. I think Cody Rhodes is going to win that IWGP Heavyweight title. I think he's the guy that's going to end Okada's reign, leading to Wrestling Kingdom, where Kenny Omega wins the IWGP Heavyweight title from him. Now, after the interference happened, Hangman Page did dump Kenny Omega's head right onto the table that wasn't folded. It was actually just kind of like flat on the ground, and he just smashed his head into the ground, leaving a large gash on the top of Kenny Omega's head. And throughout that, they kind of used that as a storyline to sell painful elbows to the head. It kind of slowed him down a little bit. It made him dizzy. He was kind of exhausted and beaten up pretty badly, to sell some of the disadvantage that Kenny Omega was sustaining in the match itself. So I did enjoy watching some of the story that was being built through that major gash on his head. I don't know if that happened because of the dump on his head on the table, because I didn't see his head really hit the table. I believe that Hangman Page's knees whacked into the table, smashing the table itself. So I'm thinking that Kenny Omega cut the top of his head while nobody was looking and the cameraman was away from Kenny Omega. Let's see what else. We saw an extreme net breaker from the top rope by Hangman Page, but Kenny Omega put his foot on the bottom rope to break up the count. And there was just a lot of great action that happened through this one. This one was definitely worthy of a main event type quality matchup given to these two guys. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page was a 4 out of 5 star matchup. It wasn't a classic, but it was a really decent main event match, and I enjoyed watching every minute of this match from beginning to end. It was at least 30 minutes or more, and I was extremely excited watching it. Hangman Page did a lionsault off the top rope. I always love watching a wrestler do something like that. It's extremely dangerous. Kenny Omega did his Terminator flip from the ring outside the ring onto the floor, which is always entertaining to watch with him doing. That's usually part of his routine in his matches. Everything overall was really entertaining and enjoyable to watch. Hangman Page is actually another good talent that ROH and New Japan Wrestling have on their roster. And I think eventually he may end up being a big star at some point down the line. And he may even go to WWE. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't even know how well he would play into WWE's company and how they do things. So I don't know if that would even work out in his favor even. But yeah, Kenny Omega hit the one-winged angel maneuver and walked away victorious at the end, hitting a lot of knee strikes to the head. And that's pretty much it. He stunned him and hit the one-wing angel and got the 1-2-3, and that was basically it. End of story, end of show. Great event, great entertainment. Definitely recommend watching night 1 of Wrestling Dontaku, or Dontaku. And I would definitely check it out if you have New Japan Wrestling streaming service. I would definitely get it if you don't. And definitely leave your comments and opinions down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. And I know I've said definitely a bunch of times in this video. Anyway, I will go ahead and get back to you guys on your comments and opinions. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Anyway, guys, if I look extremely tired, that's because I am. It is like fucking right now, as I'm recording, 12:14 in the morning. I need to get some rest. I gotta go ahead and upload this video for you guys, and I will speak to you guys later on this weekend for Backlash, and I'm going to do my preview and prediction video tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. On top of that, guys, I either am going to do night 2 on Saturday, or I may do the night 2 event on Monday the 7th of May, and give you guys a review on that during the time that Raw is supposed to be going on, since I don't give two flying fucks about Monday Night Raw or SmackDown anymore at this point, till I find a reason to even want to watch at that time. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have a great night, and thank you for watching the video.